Hey, yesterday, in fact, last night, I was shocked. See, hi, Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. Like we always do, you brought the best, consistent, all the time, back-to-back analysis here on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you pause the video, go back and subscribe to the channel and turn on notification. It is very, very imperative that you subscribe to the channel and turn on notification over here on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. Yesterday, because of Manchester City, 10 odd, 5 odd, 4 odd, almost, in fact, they had gone through. City were up by 3-0. But for the dying numbers of the game, something, very, very unlikely to happen. Then City allowed Team Alfredo final to turn the game on its head and draw 3-3. I'll change your stuff. But today we'll go again. So obviously expect, so you see the code or the description below. That we'll talk about a lot of things that was on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. We'll delve into updates from Chelsea camp. We'll talk about the Champions League last night, the madness that also was on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. And stick and stay with us. Like I said, if you're not subscribed, subscribe to the channel, turn notification. In the notification turn, make sure that you do choose all. Send it anytime that there is content here, you are first to have it here on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. But let us go straight into it. Let us have the discussion of start with the Champions League. See, before we go into the Champions League conversation, there is a video I want to show you. And I don't know why a lot of the people fun to say I'm not fun lightly, I'm not fun so maybe it's nothing really huge, so maybe we should just take it like that. Pep Guardiola, after that final game, goes into the post-match press conference and he is asked, say, I didn't think that the name cuts when he Pep opens his mouth and says that he wants to harm himself, so prano, then ends up smiling like some very funny grin, then walks away. See, Pep's a lunatic. Seriously, the man, there is something fundamentally wrong with him. See, let us pause. Let's go and watch the video. We'll come back. Watch the video.
Sorry to go off topic, but you've got a cut and apparently some others.
Yeah. With my finger here, with my nail.
That's fine.
I wanna harm myself. Yeah. Good night.
It'll be okay.
Yeah. That is Joseph Guardiola in the post-match press conference. And even before that, look at how he is playing with saliva before he goes on to do that. That's outrageous stuff, to be very honest. And I think that where City have gotten to, they are in proper deep waters. And I said Pep Guardiola, I said the people at City find solutions to that. I don't think that is just the absence of Rodri Cascante and Momolusi Salmatch. And we'll delve into the analysis proper. Now, if you go to England, Chelsea did not play a game, but there is a reason why most of the pundits in England are eating a humble pie because of one person at Chelsea Football Club. I will do the analysis for you, but here we remove with the Champions League conversation. The Champions League conversation here. Then we'll come back. We'll have all of the conversations. We'll preview and the matches now, of course, and the betting codes so they are available. Then we'll talk about other things in that regard. First of all, the two early kickoff games, of course, so AC Milan and team friend Atletico de Madrid. I think that for me, I was very, very impressed with Atletico de Madrid going away to go and play in a game in Czech Republic in against Spartak Prague, and then not sticking their foot off the pedal. And I think that Atletico de Madrid were spot on, scoring those number of goals, controlling the game from the beginning, from the onset of the game to the dying numbers of the game. I think that Atletico Madrid was solid. And Brancha, your friend Antoine Griezmann had 100 appearances yesterday, and for Koki and Antoine Griezmann, our Champions League, and they were brilliant in that regard. Almost 6-0. It started by a goal from Julian Alvarez, in the 59th minute. Marcus Llorente, Antoine Griezmann, Angel Correa, 89th, and then 85th minute. Got 2 goals for team friend Atletico de Madrid. On the other side, in Croatia, there was going to be that big one. AC Milan playing against Slovan Bratislava. Now, this was a very, very funny game. Everybody knew AC Milan had the quality to go away to go and get that win, but all of us were worried because AC Milan recent game somehow away after Madrid. They came to play against Cagliari. They got a draw 3-3, and then post that somehow against Juventus. They were not convincing. Ended up 0-0. Yes, Juventus a different proposition, but then still AC Milan born on that consistency and anyone. So even though Slavan one of the teams from the bottom of the UEFA Champions League phase as it stands now, people were still a little bit worried for team and friend AC Milan. In the first half, there was almost a goal for Slavan Forno and a bunch of friend Pavlovic clear ball off the lines. Then AC Milan grew into the game. They grew confidence. They understood what they wanted to do. And when you go vibrant here, friend Christian Pulisic assisted by Tammy Abraham. Then Tammy Abraham assisted goal, and then the game went on. This just before said we'll go to the second half now. Then Slavan Forno got equalized, and then the game was blown wide open for AC Milan. So now I'm gonna give my a little bit difficult. I'm gonna team my friend AC Milan. Then in the second half, they came back, tweaked something, and I like the fact say a branch of friend Paulo Fonseca took off Noah Okafor, threw on a branch of friend Rafael Leao. One, to give extra creativity from the wide area, real creativity from the wide area now. Not Noah Okafor or a natural inside winger and an inside 10. This time was a wide creator in a branch of friend Rafael Leao. So Rafael Leao really was able to do a wide creating job. He did it excellently well in that regard. And of course, whilst he was able to do that, then once Rafael Leao did that in the second half, be able to create sustained pressure, create chances, and dictate the pace of the game. And obviously, Rafael Leao, like I said, the second one for team my friend AC Milan. And then finally, a mistake from Slavan Forno. Then our branch friend Tammy Abraham made it 3-1. And later on in the game was a spectacular goal for Slavan, and then he made it 3-2. So in the early kickoff, everything job was done easily, and we expected that job was supposed to be done all through. There's something about Rafael Leao. So no Bobo, that's for sure. And he's smiling. I think it's a very, very, very something that's would not be nice to see at all. Of course, Robert Lewandowski inside Barca game. Barca are going to play against Stade Brestois. It's a game that was very tricky for Barca because in the last two games in the league, Barca have to a certain extent struggled to a certain level. And the questions that we're all asking ourselves and said, if you look at FC Barcelona, any of them struggles in the last few games, was it going to affect them when they play against Stade Brestois? Was it going to really worry them when they play against Stade Brestois? Now, Hansi Flick tweaked something, and I like that tweak Hansi Flick, Eric Osamachin, to go into that game with a semblance of a 4-2-2-2-2. I think it was very important, pushing Rafinha to come inside to play as an inside 10 and to make sure so many a lot of men in central areas to congest central areas, not necessarily just pack the middle. I think it was excellent at some point in time. It was more like a 4-2-4 or a 4-2-2-2 structure to improve their away team's 4-1-4-1 defensive shape. Now Oshe Stade Brestois for an normal in a 4-1-4-1 shape. Inside 4-1-4-1 shape now Stade Brestois for an Ebono. Now you knew say Atletico de Madrid, you knew say team a friend of Barcelona had to change something because now Stade Brestois for coagulating FIFA more condensed. They have a lot of people in there. Now once they're able to do that, so the reason why they had to go inside there and then change the shape was because of that. Because of the compactness of Stade Brestois for them, and they were aggressive on Barca, and because people have found out how to play against FC Barcelona, so when you go into it, it was smart and to flick the shape. Pedri, for me, I think is one of the best midfielders that you ever get at this age. Barca should give him the keys to controlling that midfield. He was spot on Fiifi-Manfred. He did an excellent job for team my friend FC Barcelona. A lot of shots, distances, Fiifi-Manfred, Casado, Pedri in a double pivot, extremely balanced. Constantly breaking the lines, but that's not possible if you switch play on Pedri. I think that it was an excellent play from FC Barcelona and how well they played. Once the game started, Robert Lewandowski opened up the scoring from a penalty in a manner 1-0. Then that obviously became Robert Lewandowski's first 100 goal in the Champions League. So I mean, for the very first time, play a young friend or Ronaldo or Messi actually 100 goals in the Champions League. Of course, he went on to make it 101 Ronaldo record, no, SCT at 170 something, Messi 120 something. So Barca went on and then won the game by 3-0 later on in the game. Danny Olmo a goal, and of course Lewandowski at the back of on the other side. FC Bayern 0-4 Leverkusen at home against RB Salzburg, a game that we expected to be a little bit difficult. No, Leverkusen for them made easy work of it. Only had soft work against team your friend RB Salzburg. He did a job over there. Almost exposing BBR as almost exposing also game, and they really dominated that was our match, and then they won the game. Of course, the man of the match was a branch friend Florian Wirtz. Leverkusen for some money contract extension for him to stay beyond 2027. Bayern are pushing hard. The likes of Max Ebel and the likes are having constant conversation. Christoph Freund to make sure they keep a branch here. They get a branch here, friend Florian Wirtz, Nepapa and any agent. And they started speaking to Nepapa and the agent, to try and get a branch here, friend Florian Wirtz to go to Bavaria, but we wait to see if that one goes on. Of course, my branch here, your friend Jeremy Frimpong, what a performance also from fullback area. Excellent player in all standard of the word, for our branch here, friend Jeremy Frimpong, playing very well, and then winning side game, of course. Inter also stayed at home to get an excellent win at home against Team your friend Leipzig. 1-0 win for team my friend Inter. Very defensively solid. Another clean sheet. In fact, about 5 games in the Champions League. Unbeaten. Keeping clean sheet in all of them. Nobody has been able to put the ball into the back of the net of team my friend Inter Milan. Then Arsenal was supposed to go away to Sporting CP in a game. Now we were a little bit expectant of what was going to happen at Sporting at the start of Balade because of one reason. Because you look at the Arsenal team. They have not really been flamboyant this season. A little bit of a stop-start season. Until we know against Nottingham Forest, on which we all believe, okay, now this is a more fluid Arsenal team. How far can they go? What really can they do? Then we're talking about the Sporting CP side that lost Ruben Amorim. That was out of this game. And of course, somebody just say Pereira, but another manager that in Portugal, they deem him as a top brain and they believe that he's going to turn a lot of things around. So we're expecting to see what happens. Arsenal went into this game and it looks as if said, they business as usual for them. Total dominance. In fact, mid-block 4-4-2 on Fiifi-Manfred. Thomas Partey dictating the pace of the game again. Excellent player. And like I said, I don't think I've seen Partey play this good in a very long time. This is probably the best spell Thomas Partey has been in as a player. It was top notch in that regard. And I branch from Thomas Partey, this control game that was Fiifi-Manfred. Arsenal went on to win by 5-1 in the first half. And then 3-0 in the second half. Your battle. Sporting for back. I think the goal was called by a branch friend Gonzalo Inacio, centre back Gonzalo Inacio. Right after the halftime, and then of course in the second half, Abrantia friend Gabriel Martinelli got a goal earlier on. Leandro Trossard got a goal. Bukayo Saka penalty, then making it 5-1 for team friend Arsenal. It was business as usual for Arsenal team. Same. Then the big one that went on in Bavaria, that was a big one between team your friend FC Bayern Munich and team my friend Paris Saint-Germain. For me, I have issues. There were big issues with Luis Enrique as a manager. I think he has lost it, and there are a lot of things that Luis Enrique would have to do and would have to change as a manager. Look at the performance away our FC Paris Saint-Germain. The management of the game, Ousmane Dembele, Elusi in the head, could not really focus on the game to get the changes. I mean, there were times that you couldn't even see a branch friend Bradley Barcola, but really, I think the main focus should be on a branch friend of Vincent Company. Post that game against FC Barcelona, Bayern have been spot on. 6 games post that match. 1 in the DFB Pokal, 1 Champions League, 2 Champions League, and then 3 of them in the Bundesliga. All of them that they have had, in fact, 7 of them, 4 in the German Bundesliga. All of them, they have won, not considered a single goal from a branch friend of Vincent Company. And if you ask Vincent Company, only 8 points clear. That was German Bundesliga. And if you speak to Vincent Company, like he was spoken to in after a game, now what Vincent Company is saying, and if you analyze the game, it's essentially about Bayern's press and counter press, the aggressive nature of press and your counter press. Now, that is what really made the difference for Tima, your friend FC Bayern Munich. Solid press, solid counter press. They played very well on the ball, off the ball. Like the way who control game, it was stop. Bayern were brilliant. I went not game them, and then of course they were just unlucky. So one goal penalty, Michelle. They should have scored more. That was how much no more. And of course, our Bayern are moving up in the Champions League conversations. Then the big shock was that one between Tima, your friend of Manchester City, and Tima, your friend of final. How do you lead this now at this point in time, and then allow a team to say FC final to come through and then turn the game on its head? Turn the game on its head. See, me, I was shocked. Honestly, I was really shocked because but Man City were up by 3-0 by the 75th minute. And you can't tell me that this is about Rodri Cascante or you're out of the team, and you're possible. It's not about Rodri Cascante, and you're just about one man. Like I said the last time, Erling Haaland, he's underperforming his XG, or underperforming the XG. Chances better one, and the Haaland that we know now convert those chances to score. Haaland is not converting those chances. Now, Bonaba, they have to score. Now, I mean, Haaland, I say Bono. A lot of the times, Haaland has struggled to get a goals. And of course, Rodri is out. Kevin De Bruyne is fully fit. And now, they started again very well. They got a goal in there. They were beginning to go into it. Then the next one comes in, Gunnahan. Next goal, then Haaland, third goal, 75th minute. The game was gone. I don't know how Pep was still playing an aggressive high line without pressure on the ball. For me, that's the problem is with Pep. And yet Rodri absence in Pep almost brave Emma City brave. And yet, I think that just mentioning Rodri is a Rodri anyhow and it's a City brave. And yet, just a figment of the whole conversation. For me, it is a much more detailed conversation at FC Manchester. See, because I can list for you about 3 or 4 different things on. Even in the absence of Rodri, if they had the legs in the midfield, you could have done something. But there are no legs if you want them. In the middle of the park, Gundogan doesn't have the legs. Mateo Kovacic, even it's all about Kevin De Bruyne, he doesn't have the legs. Even Rico Lewis doesn't really have the defensive legs. They don't have the legs in the middle of the park. Matches before, we're talking about the experience of our brand here. Your friend Ruben Diaz that was out, he had come back. So there are some real reasons in team my friend Manchester City are struggling the way that they are struggling as it stands now. And it's not just the absence of him. And for me, one main thing is that even in the absence of those legs now City for him, what they are doing is that they are still playing an aggressive high line when they lack the legs to put pressure on the ball. And I mean, Pep is probably synonymous to positional play and the principles of positional play. And he obviously knows, but I think it's an over obsession with what he wants to do consistently. Even if he knows that it may not work, he wants to still put in that seed of fear in the opponent and still go ahead and play. But the game has evolved so much so well that even the smallest teams do believe that they can hit even the big teams over, and they will not care. They will not really care at all. They will make sure that they go in, do their best, and then push you, force you to make mistakes, regardless of your name, regardless of whatever that you do. If you are Pep, if you are City, if you are whatever, they would make sure, say they go ahead and then force you to make a lot of mistakes, and then you are in trouble. And my friend, Coach Abdul Pomasi said something that was very intriguing, and I told him I was going to steal it. If you look at Abdul Pomasi and what he said, Abdul Pomasi was saying something simple. Or see, in this modern day, if you don't win your duels, you will not be allowed to play your football. So we a team. That's a whole ball match. That's what we do duels. So one be count you don't be allowed to play. Because the team that is more aggressive, that has the balance in defense, that will win their duels. Or no better the ball, won't be more ball. Because when your ball, one the count 9 ball. And City lagged. I mean, players the legs are not there. Lack of goal scorers outside of Haaland, very important. Kevin De Bruyne injuries, Stones, Oscar Bob, and Phil Foden. I mean, not turning up. Resigning Ilkay Gundogan. I don't think that has really done them any good at all. If you go back and you look at City for on starting lineup, on the boy in that match now. Just look at the starting lineup that City played the game with yesterday, and then look at the number of match. Look at the number of distances that people were able to cover, the distance that people were not able to cover. Now City and now let us look at a quick one. The lineup now City for Eddie Rasa match. Of course, if you look at the lineup, City went into it with Rico Lewis, Manuela Kanji, Nathan Ake, Zosco Guardiola, Ederson in post, Bernardo Silva, Kai Gundogan, Matthias Nunes, then had Phil Foden, Erling Haaland, and Brentford friend Joao Grealish leading the lines as the front three. And again, these are a lot of questionable jobs that was being done over there in terms of what they wanted to do and how good these players could be. And I think that a lot has to be done. A lot has to be done at Manchester City. We really have a lot to be done. Now, at the beginning of the broadcast, I said something. Said, if you look at Chelsea, a lot of the people in England are beginning to eat a humble pie. And the kind. A lot of the pundits in England are saying it. I'll go on and I'll read something for you. You would understand what I'm trying to say in terms of why I say this is why people in England are eating a humble pie over. People in England are eating a humble pie over. Now let's go on. Me and we were start conversation on the Chelsea front and what has been going on since and now when he had a conversation. Former goalkeeper, our friend Ben Foster or Tiny Pandit. Now Ben Foster has been saying something talking about Chelsea. Or say going back to the start of the season, we were almost ridiculing Chelsea for the amount of players they've got. Everyone is kind of eating a bit of a humble pie now. And Okaya also talking about the facts. And I think that is very, very true. Enzo Maresca has really made a lot of pundits in England eat a lot of humble pie. And I'm saying this again because, like I said, for me, Enzo Maresca, the single most important thing that's happened to Chelsea in the last few years. Literally changing the mindset of the team, changing the thought process of the team, changing everything that the team does on another foot of playing. He has a crop of young players who really understand him, and some players are on tip ball and they want to grow with it. And it looks as if they are building a very, very formidable side. And that's why everybody is saying it. Everybody, our England, to say Chelsea, the new foes. And I'm thinking about it with how things are going bad for Manchester City and how it looks as if said this weekend against Liverpool they may not be able to score. Does it open it up? Because Chelsea will game against Villa. Now Enzo Maresca will know say he has to focus well. The head-in-hand game, not one game, very difficult game. We'll bring you the pre-match analysis of Chelsea versus head-in-hand. Our Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube say, yeah, don't go nowhere, stick and say, this uncommon. Then, of course, in area, we'll also bring you another broadcast. But it's a tough game for team and friend Chelsea heading. So, we need all of our matches in the lead up to this one. So, they are not a small team like that. Until Chelsea going to play against Headingham, they know so it's not an easy game. Of course, this weekend, boy in the German Bundesliga against Bayern for Leverkusen. First few minutes, normally up by 2-0 until say Leverkusen were able to turn the game around. So it's not going to be just a walk in the park for Chelsea, but really a game that's going to test Chelsea. After that, Chelsea will go against my friend Aston Villa, and that's going to be a huge one. And then we brought you Champions League post-match analysis and all the stuff in there. I was on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. Of course, in the afternoon, we'll bring you the rest of the broadcast. So then, take care. Stay with us. Bye-bye.